and thanks for tuning in. You want to stay tuned for this, my ideas or my thoughts on the ultimate hunting rifle. It's got a few things going for it. It's lightweight, it's adjustable, it's got to be accurate, and it's got to have a little modern tech that's going to give us an advantage out there in the field. Let's get to that rifle and see what you think. All right, this is it, the Sig Cross. I know it's been out for years, and you know, some people kind of frowned on it back in the day, but it is still, I think, a game changer when we come to lightweight hunting rifles. You know, I'm a custom rifle guy. I love building custom rifles, and I might get a different rifle, build up a super lightweight, but out of the box, I think this might be the best one you can buy out there today. If we think about the Sig Cross, when it came out, it blew the world away with a one-piece receiver that had the mag well and the upper receiver all in one piece, no chassis to bolt it into. Super awesome. One other company did something close. It was Q, the Q Fix, but Sig did it also, and I bought into the Sig. It's a little less money, and I think it's a great quality rifle. A few things that you see with it, you know, it's going to have its 3-lug bolt. It's got its folding stock, which I love. If you're putting this in a backpack or something, be able to fold it up and make it compact, that's awesome. This one's chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. I still think 6.5 Creedmoor is one of the best all-around rounds you can get for today's market. There's so much available ammo out there, from really lightweight stuff if you want to hunt predators, to heavyweight stuff if you want to go shoot a deer or an elk. No problem with this rifle. You know, I might even be able to say, you know, with the right shot placement, maybe even a moose. But let's talk about the rifle. You know, when we talk about the Sig Cross, a few things really stand out. You know, their floating bolt head is pretty unique in the fact that you can get different bolt faces. It wasn't available when we first got them, but they're starting to do Magnum bolt faces and a few other things. That's going to open up some of the cartridges for some of you long-range hunters out west. That's a great option. It's also 3 lugs. The 3 lugs are nice because you have less leverage or less movement to cock that bolt, okay? And it's got a really handy bolt stop right here at the top that helps index that. We can slide that bolt in, and then the folding stock. We talked a little bit about the folding stock, but with the adjustability that this thing has right out of the box, I kind of dig this adjustment here for the cheek piece that's spring loaded. You get your face on there, you get it where you need, and you lock that into position. Perfect. If we need more length of pull, less length of pull, we can adjust that really quick. You can also adjust cant and raise and lower that cheek or the butt pad if you need to. Pretty awesome adjustability, and the fold up. There's a few things that I've done different on this one, right? I pulled off the original grip and I put the Elite MDT grip. I love their vertical grips. I run them on all my precision rifles. I thought it was a good fit here. A couple other things with the Sig Cross, you know, nice smooth action. They did have a proprietary Magpul magazine that had that little feeder on the front. I think that helped to make sure the nose of the tip of the bullet went up into the magazine. I've ran regular AICS mags through it and it works fine, but for hunting, I'm gonna stick with that 5-rounder and go to town. Really low profile, it's gonna work well. You know, if you were not aware, you know, it does have a 2-stage trigger. So this is Sig's 2-stage trigger. On a hunting rifle, something a little more lightweight where you can't be quite as steady as my match rifles, it's good to have a 2-stage trigger in my mind. You know, the first stage is super light. We're talking ounces, and then maybe a couple pounds on the second stage. Very nice, very usable trigger. I think it's one of the best out-of-the-box factory triggers you can get in a rifle, unless it comes with something different. You know, if it came with a Timney trigger out of the box or a Trigger Tech, maybe it'd be better than this one. But for a factory trigger, the Sig Cross has a really good one. After that, you know, you got your stainless steel barrel. In 308, they did a 16-inch barrel, which would be even shorter than this. This one's 6.5. I like the 6.5. That 18-inch barrel gets me enough velocity. I can run 130s really fast, or if I want to slow it down or get a little heavier bullet, I can do that too. It's right in the sweet spot. I'm going to try a shorter barrel on another rifle in 6.5. We'll see how it works, but this 18 has been a Goldilocks for me. We've had impacts. I put guys on this rifle that have never shot past 400 or 500 yards and hitting steel at 1,000 yards consistently with this rifle. It's awesome. Very, very, very serviceable for a factory rifle. I'm going to run the B&T Rotex. B&T Rotex can. This one's a 30 cal can, and I'm running the Area 419 adapter on there. The Hellfire adapter, you might have saw that on my suppressor video. I like that Hellfire adapter because, hey, if I'm going to a state that I can't run a suppressor, I can put their muzzle brake on there. It's a super capable muzzle brake. It's very lightweight. and with the titanium can, it adds hardly any weight to the end of this rifle and makes it a little more pleasurable to shoot. A couple other things you see on this rifle. I'll pop it off here so you can see what I'm clamped into. So I'm running an MDT M-LOK Arca rail. It's not a full length, but it's pretty close, covers most of the handguard. I like that Arca rail. It fits well and it feels good in the hand, you know, if you had to go offhand for a quick shot. But, you know, I like my Arca rails, so we can use it on bipods and skypods, you know, and on this rifle, I opted for the 2-pull skypod. I also have the triple pull, and depending on the situation, maybe I pull the triple pull out of my backpack and go to work with that one. There's a couple things, and I'll go over bipods in another video. There's a couple things we can do with the triple pull that kind of help us out over the double pull. You know, if I can't get my bipod out or my tripod out and post up on it, maybe I can use this on the front and use a shorter bipod or this collapse down as a rear support. I'll show you kind of how that works later, but that triple pull, pretty amazing with the length. If I was set it up in a coyote stand or a predator stand, maybe this is the way I would go, that or clipped into my tripod, either way. The double pull is going to give me a lot of room, a lot of adjustability that I can get. If I'm off camber, you know, I can splay the legs differently. I can shorten one up if I need to. It has cant and pan. I usually lock out the pan and just have the cant so I can level out the rifle. Super awesome, the adjustability and the height we can get out of this bipod. The triple pull just takes it to the next level. It's a little extra weight. If you're willing to take the weight, you know, maybe throw it in there. But what I think I'm going to do this next hunting season is run the double pull and then maybe have the triple pull in my backpack. You know, when it's slung on your back, it's not such a big deal. If we look at this rifle as we go down, you'll also see I got a spur mount. You know, I wanted it lightweight. And, you know, the spur mount's not lightweight, but I wanted to make sure that optic was solid and locked in the position I wanted and not going to lose zero. So I went with a spur mount. Love the spur mounts. You also see I have a Raptor rail or a diving board on that spur mount. That is a Rockstar, really solid mount. I would go for that one all day long. There's some other mounts, a little less money, but for me, in this rifle, I'm going to stick with the spur mount. It just gives me a lot of options. Inside of the spur mount, you see the Leupold Mark V. This is the 3.6 to 18. It has a CCH, so it's a hunting competition reticle in it. It's a Christmas tree type reticle in mils. I love it. It has a lot of indicating points, but they're very small, kind of like an H59, but a lot less information than that. Just what you need. I love this reticle. I ran it in a lot of PRS matches. It's been a great reticle for me. I'm going to run it on this lightweight hunting rifle. It is in first focal plane, so those mil tensions are going to be accurate at any magnification, which I love. And then on top, you see the little bit of tech I got going here. This is the Vortex Impact 4000. It's been out for a little while and people have been talking about it, and I know there's other options out there, but the Vortex with the built-in calculator in it has been really good for me. And I love the wireless remote I can put anywhere. I can put it down here on the magwell. It's just Velcroed on there, so if I wanted to put it on the buttstock somewhere else, I could. But being able to activate that with a push of a button. The IR laser, or the laser, the rangefinder, is co-witness with my reticle, so all I need to do is put the target or the animal that I'm ranging in the reticle, push the button, it'll automatically calculate my dope. It has barometric pressure in it, so temperature, humidity, density, altitude, everything's calculated for it. And this thing has just been rock solid from the day I got it. I did get one of the earlier ones, but it's been solid. Haven't had any warranty claims or anything like that. I've used it more in NRL hunter type matches where we have unknown distances, and it was a rock star. Instead of the guys with the range finding binos, which I love them, don't get me wrong, I run them too. Instead of that, they were running binoculars or range finding binoculars. If they had binoculars and a rangefinder, it was even slower. You know what they were doing is they were glassing, pulling out the targets, and then once they found the targets, they'd have to go back and laze the targets. Once they lazed the targets, then they could engage them, get their dope and engage them. And I dropped down, I started spotting with my 3 to 18, finding the targets, and as I found them, I ranged them and I shot them in that exact order. Saw the first one, ranged it, shot it. Second one, ranged it, shot it. Third one, ranged it, shot it. It saved me a ton of time I think it was kind of a cheat code when it comes to NRL Hunter. And the crazy thing is with the steel suppressor I ran back then and a regular SkyPod, I was still under 12 pounds. So I was in the lightweight factory division. Super awesome. So we got the Vortex rangefinder, we got the MDT Arca rail, and that's about it, man. I tell you what, this rifle in this combination has been deadly for me. And I don't know, maybe I'm gonna stick with 6.5 Creedmoor, but I wanna do some sniper matches, some unknown distance matches, and I might wanna try out some different barrels. Put in the comments what you would do, but I'm thinking maybe we do a Carbon 6 GT. I love the 6 GT, man. That bullet comes out of there. You can get all the velocity you need. You get the BC of that 6 bullet. It's a great shooting round. Maybe I'll do that, or maybe, I don't know, maybe we go to a 7mm, 7mm 08, or something similar to that, or a 6mm Creedmoor. Let me know what you guys think in the comments for an unknown distance match. As of now, 6.5 Creedmoor, you know, it fits all the needs I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, you know, predator hunting. We can run a light 6.5 bullet. I think that new ELD VT is about 100 grains in 6.5 Creedmoor. That would be smoking out of this thing. We can go all the way up to 156. I've been shooting 130s and 135s through it. I love that weight. I get a good velocity out of it, and this thing's kicking butt. Hopefully you like my build and this precision rifle slash ultimate hunting rifle. Being lightweight, I don't know if you guys are aware, but you know, the weight of the rifle without the optics and other accessories was just over 6 pounds when this was released. That is pretty light. And to think about that with a stainless barrel instead of a carbon barrel. And then this compact form factor. I can set that down in my 2-day assault bag, or what I usually do is clip in with the QD mount. I clip into a mount on the front of my bag, and I'll have this hanging on the front, and then my tripod hanging on the backpack, and everything else I need. Another option, I don't know if you guys thought about, but man, shooting bags have become more and more part of shooting scene when we talk about precision rifle. This is the MDT Chunky Peanut with the lightweight fill, and I tell you, this stuff is truly, it is amazing how your rifle can settle into this ultralight bag. It weighs nothing, and you can get on a target and really get that thing settled in. I think this is going to go with me anytime I go hunting. If I don't have time to clip it in, or if there's a rock or a tree I need to go off of, man, just like that, I'm going to get that thing locked into the bag, magwell driven into the back of the bag, and then get ready to shoot. This thing will knock them on their heels for sure. Thanks a lot for staying tuned. Hopefully you think this build is pretty good, and if not, put in the comments what you would change. I know it's an old school rifle, it's been out for a few years, but it is still, I think, for a lightweight rifle and the way it's built, and be able to run a barrel nut on the front and change your calibers out quickly, being able to change the bolt face and maybe get different cartridges. Maybe I'll go 6 arc. I like 6 arc. Maybe that'll be a cartridge I throw in here if I can get an arc bolt face. Maybe a Magnum. Maybe we put 6.5 PRC in this one. Man, I ran that in a couple different switch barrel rifles, and I love that cartridge. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Sig Cross, is it cool? Is it dead? Let me know what you guys think. I'm a fan of it. I love the lightweight. I love to be able to move it around so easily. I love the folding stock and all the adjustabilities. Let me know. Stay tuned for more awesome videos. Make sure you subscribe and comment, and we will catch you next time.